class, we're going to be doing some problems about time today. Today our problem says, Molly's grandfather, Pop, has traveled all over the world and has clocks in his office that keep the time according to the different countries that he has been to. Pop lives in Dallas, so the clock in the middle keeps the time in Dallas. He has a clock for Tokyo, Paris, Sydney, and Seattle. Tokyo is 14 hours ahead, Paris is 7 hours ahead, Sydney is 15 hours ahead of Dallas, and Seattle is 2 hours behind Dallas. On Monday, Molly walked into Pop's office and saw that the Tokyo clock had fallen off of the wall. The clock needs to be reset. If it is 2:30 p.m. on Monday in Dallas, what time and day is it in Tokyo? Write the time, include AM or PM, and draw the clock hands for Tokyo, and write the day next to the clock. Next, let's understand the problem. There are 5 clocks on the wall, each with different times for different places Pop has traveled, and one for Dallas, where he lives now. We need to help Molly reset the clocks according to the correct time and date in that country. Our knowns include the time in Dallas and the difference in time between each country in Dallas. Tokyo is 14 hours ahead of Dallas. Paris is 7 hours ahead of Dallas. Sydney is 15 hours ahead of Dallas, and Seattle is 2 hours behind Dallas. Our unknowns include the missing times. Next, we're going to create a plan. To find each missing time, we can use the Dallas time given and add or subtract the given time difference for the stated country. When counting the hours to find the time for the stated country, we need to notice if we pass 12 a.m. or p.m. so we can know if we go into the next day of the week. All right, now class, we're going to carry out the plan. To find Tokyo's time, we know that Dallas is 2:30 p.m. on Monday, and Tokyo is 14 hours ahead. So we are going to count 14 hours ahead and see what on the... So we are going to count 14 hours ahead on the Dallas clock to find the time in Tokyo. Count with me, class. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and see we're passing 12 o'clock, so now we are changing from p.m. to a.m. We'll continue counting at 11. 11, 12, 13, 14. Now, class, we can see that it is 4:30 a.m. on Tuesday because we began on a Monday. So we'll draw 4:30 like this. First, I'm going to draw the minute hand for the 30 minutes that have passed in the hour. The minute hand is much longer than the hour hand, if you'll remember correctly. Now, I'm going to draw the hour hand a little bit between the 4 and the 5 to show that time has elapsed in the hour. And I want to draw it a little shorter than the hour hand so that we can tell. I'm going to look back and see if we did the problem correctly. To check our work, we can use the time we arrived at after counting and then work backwards to see if we arrive at the given Dallas time. This is best accomplished when using a manipulative analog clock and getting to move the hands on our clock by ourselves. But for now, we're just going to attempt to count backwards by using our Tokyo clock from earlier. See, we're here at our Tokyo clock, so let's count backwards 14 hours to see if we arrive at 2:30. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and sure enough, we arrive at 2 o'clock, and we pass 12, so that means that we changed from AM to PM once again. So our time in Tokyo is going to be 4:30 a.m. Now, we're going to repeat these same steps to find what the time is in Paris. Now, Pop, he can't keep his clocks on the wall, so on Wednesday, Molly walked into Pop's office and saw that the Paris clock had fallen off of the wall. This clock needs to be reset. If it is 11 a.m. on Wednesday in Dallas, what time and day is it in Paris? If you remember correctly, class, Paris is 7 hours ahead of Dallas. So, we're going to go over to our Dallas clock, and we're going to start here at the hour hand and count forward 7 hours from the 11. 1. Oh, look at that. We've already passed 12. So we've changed from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. So here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we arrive at 6 p.m. on the same day. So how are we going to write that out? Let's draw 6 p.m. on our clock. I'm going to start off by drawing our minute hand just like I did before. Remember, the minute hand is longer than the hour hand. So that shows us that we have no minutes passed in the hour. Next, we're going to draw our hand to show that it is 6 o'clock. And our hour hand is going to be a little shorter than our minute hand. Just like that. Then at the bottom, we're going to write 6 o'clock p.m. Now, class, it's Thursday, and Molly went again to Pop's office and saw that this time the Sydney clock had fallen off of the wall, and it needs to be reset. So if it's 7 p.m. on Thursday in Dallas, what time of day is it in Sydney? I'm going to let you do this one on your own, class. Be sure to write the time and include AM or PM as well as the date next to the clock. Try it on your own. If you got 10 a.m. on Friday for the time in Sydney, you got it right. Good job, class. For your homework problem this week, you're going to find out the time in Seattle. Our problem states that on Friday, Molly went to Pop's office and saw that the Seattle clock had fallen off of the wall and needed to be reset. If it's 1 p.m. on Friday in Dallas, what time of day is it in Seattle? Be sure to write the time and include AM or PM. Draw the hands for the Seattle time and write the day next to the clock. See you next week, class.